So, love or loyalty? Which one and why?
Love, no question. I say love because love is more inclusive than loyalty. I think that love includes loyalty and other qualities. It's like a package deal, and it doesn't require explanation or reason, and it's not restricting like loyalty is. I think loyalty is more like an obligation. Like people who grew up in certain situations or environments, they're obligated to be loyal, or their parents require them to be loyal out of environment or upbringing where, as with love, it's something that comes with it. It's not restricting, it's not explained, it's just organic and natural, and you just do it. So that's why I think love is like the easy, that's hands down, no question.
Because it's easier?
It's not easier. It's not easy. I don't think you can love someone if you don't love yourself, because you don't have anything to give from. So, yeah, it's definitely not easy. It's a learning process, and it can be very hard. But once you do define it on your own terms and know how to give it and love yourself, it's very easy to give. And you don't expect anything back. So.
Why do you see loyalty as obligation? Why is that one of the first words to come to mind when you hear loyalty?
Because it has nothing to surround it. It has nothing to stand on. I think loyalty is something that some people place on others as guilt or as habit. Like in the streets or whatever, they'll say, there's no snitch rule, and you're loyal to your street fam or whoever if you don't snitch, and it's all negative. And if you don't have love to surround it, then there's, it's more of an obligation or a contract or, agreement versus something that you do out of your heart, which is just free.
What experiences have you had to influence your logic on your answer?
One divorce, marriage and divorce. And not knowing what love was or how to give it. When I experienced it during the separation, it became clear to me the difference between love and loyalty. I was loyal to the vows, loyal to what society says that I should do after having kids. Out of wedlock was the proper thing to do, was to get married and to honor the vows. That was loyalty to my vows and loyalty to society instead of myself. And so once I experienced what I thought was love, without even loving myself first, I said love trumped loyalty, and it was just an easy decision to make. Now on the heels of my second divorce, went into that out of loyalty, obligation, fear, and just wanting to prove to myself and others that, it was possible. And so I did a lot of things out of loyalty in that marriage, and still experiencing love. It was something that was constant even during that marriage, and I couldn't ignore it. So I decided to neglect loyalty and stick with love in that marriage. So to me, it's just something that you can't ignore. It's something that just won't leave. It doesn't die. It's not something that's expecting or a tit for tat type of behavior. It's something that you just give away, and you don't expect to get it back. And it's not depleting or voiding. It's just something that's always fulfilling, and it's free.
Was there ever a time in your past where you would have answered differently? And do you think sometime in your future, as you get older, do you think your answer will be different?
I answered differently on my second marriage. I chose loyalty because it was the person that I loved was not accepting and more rejecting. So I chose loyalty to paint a prettier picture and to fill a void for myself. So at that point, I chose loyalty over love instead of just staying single. As far as the future, going through my work, doing my due diligence for myself, and learning to love myself and knowing that looks like, I would never ever choose loyalty over love. It's definitely not worth it. It's not fulfilling, and it's not permanent. And at this stage in my life, you know, being who I am now, it wouldn't make sense for me. I think that people who get married out of loyalty is more of a business contract. It's temporary. It's something that's where you can cheat, you can step out of your marriage, you make excuses for doing these things when there's no love there. Love will not even give you permission to do those things. You don't even want to do them. You consider your mate when you love them. And there's no reason or even any desire to do anything different.
There's a saying out there that goes, love will get you married, but loyalty is what keeps you married. What's your opinion on that?
That's all negative.
It's all negative?
It's double negative.
Why do you think that's
I don't think love has the oomph or the substance to keep a marriage together. I think the loyalty comes into play when you stay married out of obligation to your contract, your vows. And that can breed a lot of misery and resentment between the two, because there's nothing there to stand on. It's just a contract. And so, yeah, I don't think love even gets you married. Love gets you married, and it keeps you married. It can never go away. So loyalty is just never there by itself. In my opinion, I think I equate love and loyalty. I compare them like love is more like a cake. Loyalty is the ingredient. You can have loyalty by itself, but it's nothing by itself, and love is all inclusive. So any other way just doesn't make sense to me.
What advice would you give to young female looking to get married, and her opinion is love, or she chooses loyalty over love? What advice would you give her? Or either way, go from your experiences and what you've dealt with, you know.
I would definitely advise her and forewarn her to do her work on herself. To go back to why she defines loyalty as something that's enough to go into something as serious as marriage, to consider her filters, consider herself, her thought process, and
Filters, what do you mean by filters?
the way that she views people, the way that she views love and anything in life. Filters permit or allow you to do certain things or think a certain way, and they can really determine the outcome of situations. So those filters have to match. You have to compromise. You have to get to know the other person's filters, yours first, before you enter any type of companionship or relationship. If going into it out of loyalty, I think she's more of a prisoner than she is privileged to marriage. And I would almost bet money that if going into a marriage out of loyalty, it's going to be miserable, or it'll end in divorce. So I would advise her to do her work, seek therapy, figure herself out before she enters into a relationship, even, much less marriage, because it is not easy. And first and foremost, after determining who she is and being comfortable with that and being happy with that, is to develop a friendship with someone. I wouldn't place a title on a mate off the bat. I think friendship comes first, and then that title comes later. But I don't think you can choose who you're with and then determine to be friends with them later. It's just my opinion.
Thank you.